This week in our collective heads, wanna put an old rumor to bed. Stereotype that you've all heard, how we're all just angry video game nerds. Most of us have actual jobs, kids and families and cats and dogs, yeah. This week in our collective heads, this week in our collective heads.
Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. I'm Patrick, joined by Owen through the powers of the internet. We're talking video games like we do every single week. And if you're not watching us on YouTube or wherever you watch us, subscribe to the places that we are. YouTube, Facebook, we're on Twitter. You can follow us and hear even more gaming stuff than our weekly show. But yeah, we talk about games every single week, so you should subscribe to us and thumbs up and do whatever the things that, whatever platform you're on, do the positive thing on that platform. That's what I say.
Please, and if you know somebody else that wants to listen to us, feel free to share us with them as well.
Give the love. One thing, we were just talking about Bethesda in the pre-show, because if you watch us live, you get a little bit of pre-show action as we kind of warm up. And
I dance.
He does dance. I need to have a little quicker button on that so I can switch.
It's okay.
And one more Bethesda story, and then we'll get this out of the way before I can click the button to show Owen dancing again. Or one more Bethesda story that they are allegedly being sued. Well, they're technically being sued for the title or trademark. Redfall.
Allegedly being sued.
They are being sued. I apologize. They're being sued for copyright because they trademarked the name Redfall, and Redfall, one word altogether, which I'm assuming is a reference to the Red Guards in Skyrim and in Elder Scrolls. But Redfall's a pretty normal kind of, it's not even a hyphenated thing. I mean, it's just two normal words. But apparently an author wrote a novel with that name. Lord. And he's saying that he's apparently Bethesda filed their copyright. He contacted them and said, hey, why don't we work out something so you can use the name of my novel? And they just never responded to him. And I think, I mean, I'm sorry, like, they're not stealing his idea. That's like someone suing someone because they made a workout book because it said exercise in the title or something. Redfall, I don't think is unique enough. I really don't think it's unique enough to sue over.
This is stupid.
Right?
This is dumb. Okay, I'm going to relate this to a story that I was actually thinking about recently. So, do you know the Marvel character Legion?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a book called Legion, and the character in this book has multiple personalities. Not Marvel related whatsoever, not exactly superhero related, but literally a character, like a book named Legion about a character with multiple personalities, and a Marvel character, Legion, who has multiple personalities. That is very close.
Very close.
This is a word.
Yep. It's a word made of two very common words. I'm gonna just start writing like really short novels and name them really simple things, and then just sue people. I mean, apparently, if this works, I mean, I'm gonna call one Door Slam.
It's gonna get settled out of court.
Of course, it's gonna get settled out of court because Bethesda doesn't.
He's gonna get a couple mil.
No, there's no way he's gonna get a couple mil.
I bet he does.
There's no way.
If they settle out of court, he's gonna get money.
He's gonna get money.
It's not. We're not talking six figures here.
No. I was gonna say like in the 50, 60, 80, $100,000 maybe, but I think you'd be happy with that. I'd be happy with that.
Makes me think of that Witcher lawsuit, even though it's completely different, where that is the Witcher book writer versus the Witcher game makers.
Yeah.
But it's just this thing of like, hey, wait, you guys are gonna make a crap ton of money. Instead of actually like making my own money, I'm gonna sue you for yours.
Yep. I mean, if like you said, if they're close, then maybe. Doom Patrol just came out DC streaming.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. I don't know if you watched it. On a slight tangent when it comes to gaming, but Doom Patrol actually came out before X-Men. But they're very, very, very similar, but not similar enough to really have a lawsuit.
It's got Brendan Fraser in it, right?
Brendan Fraser and Alan Tudyk. and the
Who's Alan Tudyk plays? Yeah, is Alan Tudyk the guy in the bandages?
no, Alan Tudyk plays Mr. Nobody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I won't give anything away, but
No,
he also
fine.
is narrating, so it was like the coolest thing. Like you started, I just love
I have the service because of Young Justice,
Sure.
and they did a sneaky thing where they only gave us the first half of the season in January, and the second half of the season doesn't come out till April. So I either cancel the service for a couple months or I start watching Titans.
Dude, that is so smart, because most people are just gonna do exactly what you did and go, I'll just let it roll, because you don't want to forget. No, you want it to be there. So, yeah, I figured you'd had the access. But additionally, I guess Umbrella Academy is also out, and Umbrella Academy
Watched that already.
Similar. I haven't watched it, but I mean, it has they both have a kind of a similar story from like a very, very, very cursory standpoint. But you're not gonna. I mean, none of them are gonna sue.
No, it's just no. I mean, Umbrella's its own comic.
Umbrella
it's
is its own Dark Horse comic with the My Chemical Romance guy did it.
Yeah, no, they're not even close to like the same.
But Doom Patrol, I mean, you have superpowered misfits all collected in a giant mansion in New York by a man in a wheelchair. Okay, that's a little close to the X-Men.
Yeah.
Except, but there's enough differences that no one's ever sued that I know of. Let me know in the comments
Well,
if
I
they
mean,
did sue. Yeah.
Well, I mean, whenever you think about that, though, it's like, look at DC versus Marvel for
Man-Thing
in perpetuity. Like, there's everything,
Deadpool.
everything that is everything that is in
Moon
DC
Knight.
is in Marvel in some way or fashion. Like, there's not. If we want to like look for Batmans and look, it's like Batman and Iron Man, even though like there's clearly a different thing. But it's like, hey, rich guy turned himself into a superhero
Rich guy
after
with no power.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. Let's talk about some really sad news though, because should we go sad or should we go?
I wanted to lead with this.
You want to lead with this? Okay.
I think it's the most.
It's the end of an era. Reggie is stepping down.
His body is no longer ready. Actually, he said his body was ready.
Oh, I had to find the clip to play. I could turn on volume, but I don't want to get copyright.
No, yeah, that's
okay.
But
the audible like just silence after he said my body's ready there is just hilarious. But it's the end of an era. I mean, this man, not only has he generated so many memes, but he's just unapologetically awkward and trying to be charismatic. But I mean, seriously.
And he's fantastic.
I love his positivity and the fact that people make fun of him and he just keeps going and he just doesn't care.
I just like the way that he always bought into it. And you're playing some of the best stuff on the screen right now. The thing with the watch, the my body is ready. The guy has always been in.
Yeah.
You never felt like he was just an executive at Nintendo. You felt like he was an executive, obviously, but a nerd there.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell he's not a hardcore gamer or anything, but he cares about these products.
He does.
It's really, really sad. And I mean, like, he was there during the, like, not Nintendo's like Super Prime or anything, but the Wii is one of the most successful console of all time. Mm-hmm. There for the downturn of the Wii U and then back for the Switch, and he's been there that whole time. Just that smile on his face, just that awkward, like, his face is very recognizable. I don't know. Like, the second that I read that news, I was like, oh no.
And how, he really went out on top. I mean, did he start during Wii or was it GameCube? It was Wii, right?
I feel like it was Wii.
Yeah. And I mean, he's come out on top. I mean, he obviously started strong. Had the lull of the Wii U, which I loved my Wii U. I know it was I feel it was a misunderstood console. And I feel like it shouldn't have been competing with the current gen platforms, but then launching the Switch, having an amazing launch with that, and then dropping Fortnite on that and with crossplay is just hilarious to me. Like, I feel like he just like mic dropped and now he's out. But
2003. So was that during the GameCube?
That was GameCube.
When did the Wii come out?
Pretty sure it was GameCube.
When did the Wii?
You can double check that. But the his successor.
2006. So he entered during the GameCube's time.
And his successor is going to be President Bowser. I read it and I thought it was a joke.
You can't make this stuff up.
You cannot make it up. I thought it was a joke. I read it. I reread it. No, the man's last name is Bowser. So good for him. And I really hope he dresses up as Bowser, like during some, that should be his thing. Like, just own it.
There's a couple awesome things about Mr. Bowser. One, he has an awesome last name, paired with a completely normal first name. His first name is Doug. His name is Doug Bowser. Second, his Twitter handle. If you go and look at his Twitter handle, he is at the true Bowser.
Okay,
dude,
that's pretty
has owned it from the beginning.
That is really baller, because he's just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm Bowser. I got this. Man.
This guy, it's not like they just got him out of nowhere. He's the head of sales and marketing at Nintendo. So obviously he's had a pretty successful couple of years.
Yep. Yeah, with the Switch and everything, I mean, yeah, he's had quite a bit of time to work on this. Sorry, I'm just adjusting something real quick, making sure that I can look at my notes, because they went away. He, like you said, he's had some successful years, and I'm curious and interested to see what he's going to do and what he's going to bring to the table. I
want to see his first direct, and I want to see him dressed up as Bowser.
Oh, I really hope he does.
That's what I want.
I would like, I mean, just as awkward as it can get, like wear a Bowser cape, or just completely go all in on it, and like just wear that every single time we see him in any publicity, right? It's like, just no regular press conference or something, because Nintendo does their very serious Japanese press conferences. Have him just show up and have a cape on during it. It would just be amazing. I would be happy.
Obviously, we want him to succeed, because Nintendo, again, is killing it the last 3 years, but still. And, props to Reggie. The way that he said it, he wants to go hang out with his family. I'm sure that he's had a very busy 15 years at a company like Nintendo.
Yeah.
It was just very sudden. It wasn't like the writing was on the wall or anything, at least from somebody who's like not tuned into the industry. But it seemed like everybody was pretty surprised.
Yeah, I think he's been. I think part of it's because he's just been an institution. I mean, how do you?
Him and Shuhei, man.
Yeah. It's sad. I mean,
don't do it, Sony. Don't take away Shuhei.
Yeah, it's really sad. I mean, I'm curious to see what'll happen with Nintendo going forward. I mean, not that Reggie was, I will say, he has had some missteps, sure, but it's sad having this guy go. He was a great addition to the cast of developers and publishers and everything. So,
not that I know anything about how Nintendo is run now, but have you read Console Wars?
I have, yeah.
Okay, so you look at Console Wars, and whenever you look at Reggie, how many things were missteps on Reggie's part, and how many things were Nintendo proper in Japan being like, this is how it's going to be, and you're going to be the face over here in America? Like, I always wonder about that kind of thing now. Like, has Nintendo changed at all in that regard, or is it still very much a Japanese-centric company with, even though like the money, it seems to me, is in the States? But what do I know?
Well, I think you're always going to have that divergence between the two, between Nintendo proper and Nintendo of America. I mean, you're going to have a difference there. But I personally would like to see, and I think we've kind of seen it over the past year or so. It's focused more on the Japanese side of the house, and at least that's the way I kind of feel about it. But either way, I want the messaging to be the same. Like here, there, I want all the games to be the same, which is the really only negative thing that I can say about him, other than him being a goofball, which isn't that negative, is sometimes he had a disconnect when it came to gamers and games being brought over to America. He had changed his tune about it in recent years, but there was the famous thing about them asking for Earthbound and everything over here, and he's like, nobody really wants to play Mother or Mother 3 or. So
I mean, honestly, he's not wrong.
It didn't sell that well. I think
exactly whenever they brought over Mother Zero or whatever it was, and it did nothing there, and it's like you wanted Mother 3 and you won't even buy this game.
Earthbound, Earthbound was good on Wii U. I mean, that's fine, but he should have phrased that in a better way. Another thing that someone should have phrased better. Apparently, there's actually, no, I'm going to skip that. Sorry. Let's talk about Dreams, because Dreams is getting creator early access mode spring for $30, and I'm confused. I've been digging. I feel the same way about this that I did when they announced Nintendo Switch Online, when they first announced it. When everyone was just kind of scrambling and saying, okay, but what is this? What do we get? In this case, do you get the game? Do you get the full game?
That's the thing that I've been wondering all week, and I've been looking into it all week, and I have not found a different store. I even asked some people on Twitter about it, got a response where it's like, I'm not sure. Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah. The thing that I'm really wondering, so what you're getting is the Dreams Studio, or what are they calling it? Dreams Creator. They're calling it Dreams Creator, which means, for those of you who don't know what Dreams is, it's a lot like, is it Little Big Planet? Is that the game I'm thinking of? Where you can make games inside of it. You can make but it's Little Big Planet's a lot more limiting. I'm trying to. It's like a Little Big Planet, but to an extreme, where you can theoretically create whatever you want, and I'm really excited to see what people make. Right, but they're giving this out for $30. You get the early access to this creator, but the thing that they made no indication of is, so does that mean you get Dreams proper by paying $30 now and buying into it early? Are they separate SKUs where you're always going to be able to buy creator, but the game going to be $60 when it comes out? I have no idea.
Yeah, I really hope that, because they haven't announced the full price of the game, right?
No.
I'm really hoping, just in my opinion, I'm really hoping that that Dreams is really cheap, like maybe even free, and then the creator studio is what costs. Because I think a lot of people would want to go into that, and maybe you get to buy skins, Minecraft, Fortnite style, where you can buy some skins as the players, whatever. I don't know. I think there may be
not skins, but you could buy assets.
Sure, buy assets or something. I mean,
like asset packs.
Yeah, something like that, because that could make a lot of money. What was it, like the RPG Maker? I don't know if you ever messed around with that, like
Never messed around with it, but I know
RPG Maker, and like on PC, like there at one point it was RPG Maker or another similar game thing that you had. The suite was either free or it was really cheap, and then you bought asset packs, you bought art packs, and that was how they made most of their money. It may be a way for them to to milk out whales in this, but either way, the games look really interesting and diverse. Like it doesn't look I don't know, like even the lighting on some of these looks so different.
As down as I am on this game, simply because for those who don't know what Dreams is, it's made by Media Molecule, and it's been in development since 2012. I don't want to be down on it at all. It's super cool. I just don't. This is a really weird thing for Sony. Like, Sony doesn't generally do early access games, except they have done like some things on some free to play. I'm trying to remember the last one. I think it was it Jaffe's game with Drawn to Death? Was that Jaffe's game?
I think so.
Drawn to Death's the last thing I can think of where there was an early access to that was on the PlayStation. But this is a first party studio game that they have given quote unquote early access to, and what it seems like they're doing is they're saying, hey, people, create some stuff for us so that when the game comes out there's a sample pack up here that's like, hey, look at everything that you can make because you guys are the creators. That's what I get out of this, but the fact that I don't know how much the game is going to be, if I get, like, I'll pay. Like, I'm never going to create a Dreams game. I'm going to say that right now. I have no artistic bones in my body. I'll pay $30 though if it gets me the game. Absolutely.
Yeah, $30 is a decent price for this, and access all these different creations, and I really hope there's a way that they're going to curate those those games, like rating style, like, and a way to search them, so that way you could say I want a platformer, a really good platformer, and then it's like, let's search platformers for high ranking, whatever. That'd be really cool. I think it'd be really interesting.
So I had this random thought that somebody is going to remake Final Fantasy VII Inside of Dreams before the first episode of Final Fantasy VII.
Oh man. Okay, someone better at least remake the opening cinematic to that game. I mean, that would be just so amazing and iconic, and just yeah. I don't think they'll make the whole thing, but opening cinematic, yeah, why not? Why not? Hey, did you know there was a Razer game store?
I did know there was a Razer game store.
I didn't. I knew what Razer was.
Sure, they make some good gaming products. I mean, I'm a Logitech guy personally. Also, in terms of other hardware, I've discovered I like the Asus Republic of Gaming stuff, and I like Logitech's things as a personal preference.
Yeah, I actually, I do like Asus. Has done some really good stuff. I inadvertently have been getting Dells, like. I mean, they've just been pretty solid, and I say that because I just happen to have one here, and my laptop that I got was a Dell, and my work PC is a Dell, but that's going to switch out. But
not Alienware, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Because they bought Alienware, I think.
For the gaming laptop or the laptop. I
think Dell bought Alienware.
Yeah, mine's not Alienware though. But it's decent. But either way, yeah, the Razer game store is shutting down though.
So the only reason I put this on the docket was because we've seen a rise of these companies that are deciding to open up their own stores. Most recently, we saw Epic's thing. The difference between Epic and Razer, though, is much like Steam. Steam made games, and then they took that and put that into making a platform that then housed other games. Epic makes games and then took that and put that into a thing where we're going to house other games. Razer makes gaming hardware. I think that there's the disconnect.
Yep, I think there's a huge disconnect, and I think that I don't know. I think they thought that, oh, we do games, so we're gonna know what we're doing with this. I don't know.
Because I'm wondering how long until we hear about Discord's game service closure. I don't know if you use Discord at all, or if you even knew that they have games.
I didn't know that they had games. I briefly, I mean, I briefly have, I have used Discord, but not that much.
Yeah. Discord is the standard for multiplayer gaming on PC in particular, and in some other cases too. I used it on Final Fantasy XIV, which I played on PlayStation, but I used it as the voice speak. It's the new TeamSpeak.
Sure.
But they also started doing games last year, I believe, and you don't hear about it because there's been a couple of times where they have like some timed exclusives on some indie games. But I'm wondering whenever they're just going to stop putting money into it. Again, like Epic started theirs after they made $2 billion in 2018. I don't know where Razer was sitting on that. I only threw that in there just because I find it extremely interesting. There's going to be a whole bunch of these people trying to make their own platforms. You've seen it with Origins. You've seen it with Epic. You've seen it. Obviously, everybody uses and has Steam. And the only ones that are still around are the game companies who are still making games, therefore forcing you to use their client.
Yeah. Yep, which is, I mean, we still don't have Halo. Sorry, I almost said Halo. We still don't have Half-Life 3. So when's the last game?
And you never will.
Yeah, we'll never have that. But when's the last game that they actually made? Have they made a game in the past?
Valve Games?
3 years? I don't think they've made like anything.
Dota?
They're making too much. Oh, they make Dota?
Artifact?
I don't know. You know what that is?
It's a card game.
Don't come after my Magic the Gathering. Come on.
Artifact and Dota, I think, are the last things that they really...
It's been a minute.
May. I mean, and obviously, Dota became one of the most successful online games of all time.
Sure, I didn't get it, but good for people who did.
Yeah, I mean, it's a MOBA, so, you know.
Yeah, I just don't. I have not gotten into them yet. One thing I'm going to get into is Anthem. I honestly have been missing playing the game. It's not. I mean, it's not. I mean, I'm not going to say it's like amazing, but I really like the game. I know that the reviews have been coming out, and they're asking about, you know, are they going to fix load times? My guess is we're going to get a fix in load times. I will say I had pretty high load times when I was playing. They're more than likely going to fix it. This reminds me of when Bloodborne first came out, and Bloodborne had like 45 seconds, a minute, maybe over a minute of waiting, and that's a single player game.
If you were to score Anthem right now, what would you score it?
I'd say 7.
Okay.
Like,
guess what it's at?
What's it at?
61.
61. Okay. I don't think it's that low. I don't think it should be that low. I liked what I played of it. I don't think it's like, it's not amazing. I mean, I'm not like addicted to it. I really liked what I played of it. I think that it accomplished what it was setting out to accomplish in regards to the gameplay. Level wise, they've got some work to do, but I think they're going to get there. But the ease, as you can see in this video here, that's basically what I did whenever I had a really bad problem, was I just got out. And being able to just leave and get out of you know, danger was really cool. That's why I play Winston in Overwatch, because I'm a chicken.
So the thing about this, and everything that I've seen, how do you not learn from Destiny 1's mistakes? You're making the same, I know that they're saying that it's not Destiny, but it's Destiny.
Yeah.
It's Destiny in Iron Man suits, which to me spells success.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I've wanted to be Iron Man forever.
Yeah.
I think Iron Man's one of the coolest heroes in Marvel, just because I'm all about the normal people who have just super awesome tech. And then you leave your game relatively empty to start, is from what I'm seeing. You know, I've watched several hours of it on Twitch at this point, just because I wanted to get a feel for it, and I haven't bought it yet. And then you pair that with awful load times, not bad load times, freaking awful.
Yeah. So we're looking at an article here. The load time into free play. So this is just kind of adding it up. I'm going to just do this real quick. Load time into free play is 154 seconds. Exiting free play to your reward screen is 19 seconds. Loading into Fort Tarsus is 101 seconds. Loading into the Forge is 4. Waiting for it to show up is 4. And then loading into free play again is 149. The reason that they went through this is to show it's 431 seconds, 7 minutes and 18 seconds. If you just forgot to change, like, you know, to gear up the right way. Maybe.
Just for context, I could have played 3 games of Tetris 99.
Yes, which we've been loving Tetris 99.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like Tetris. I'm not great at it. It's fun. No. But this...
It's instant gratification.
It's instant gratification. It's so quick. And I think maybe because I haven't played Tetris in so long, and now the Dark Souls games have made me to the point where I don't care about losing anymore, that I've... I really like Tetris 99 because I'm like, oh, that was a really bad play. Oh well, let's keep going.
How great is that? Where you're just like, the Souls games have beaten me into submission.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where I'm like, yep, that was really bad. Like, I think it's a healthier reaction to than like wanting to like tear up your Switch or like throw it against the wall.
Even my wife was playing it and enjoying it well enough. She plays better than me more times than I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's your highest you've gotten so far?
I've gotten 4 once.
Dang. Okay, I got to 20, and I was really happy about that.
Today on lunch, I got 10.
But
I feel like I'm going to have to get super lucky to get a win.
Yeah, I'm still curious. How do the gray blocks that pop up on the bottom? How is that? How does that like occur? Is that based on how other people are playing or how you're playing? Because I couldn't figure that out.
That's people targeting you. That's garbage. That's garbage being sent to you by people clearing lines.
Okay. Well, see, I haven't even tried that yet. I've just been playing Tetris the whole time.
Yeah. No, there's a Kotaku article that explains the meanings pretty well. But you've noticed that the guy, like all the little screens, right, that you can see on the left and the right, you can have a thing where it like sets who it's going to target, or you can like literally target them. So what I've been doing is right before I'm about to drop like a 3 or 4 line clear, I find whoever's about to die and I tap on them real quick, and then I drop 4 lines of garbage on them. So that's how I've been getting my KOs. Yeah. But there's a thing that the one that I haven't figured out is what it means on the left meter when it's blinking versus when it's solid. Because I've gotten like the garbage. It's like, hey, garbage is about to hit you if you don't clear some lines, but I don't understand the blinking part at all. Yeah,
I understood the idea. I just didn't know where the garbage was coming from. So that makes sense now. Because sometimes like I've had really good runs and was able to clear out the garbage and do really well. And maybe I placed in like, I don't know, 40 something or 50, but like it was a good like flow and good organization, if you will. And then sometimes like I just get targeted like crazy, and like I barely took out 2 lines before, and my playing wasn't bad, but I guess just whoever was targeting me is just luck of the draw. So that's one thing I like about it is, you know, like I said, because I've been beaten to the point of complacency in video games, and I think Magic the Gathering did that to me as well. It's like, if you lose, you lose. That's fine.
Yeah, so it's a super bummer thing about Anthem. I didn't mean to segue completely into Tetris 99. It's just that game is so good. It was shadow dropped and it's free. Oh yeah. There's obviously conversations that are going to come out about this. It's like, is this EA's fault? Is this EA pushing a developer like BioWare into making something out of their element and they just didn't do it well? Is it something where it's going to be a Destiny-style thing where you trust in the fact that, like Bungie did, even though Bungie was a shooter maker, like they knew how to make shooters before, and BioWare does not. You can say what you want about Mass Effect, but it's not a shooter.
It's not. No, it's not.
Is it something where that EA will let them believe in it and make it better? Is this a sign of the times with EA affecting it? Or is it just the fact that BioWare tried something different, it didn't work out, and hopefully that doesn't mean that Dragon Age 4 is either not going to happen or it's going to, be bad? I've seen a lot of hyperbole about BioWare in the last couple of days. I'm not ready to throw in the towel on them. This is a bummer that the load times are that terrible. Yeah. Like, it doesn't surprise me that a game, it's an MMORPG. It doesn't surprise me that it's starting slow. Like, unless you're somebody like WoW, nobody seems to ever really start that well. I'm sure there's some other game. Guild Wars 2 is pretty good.
I really liked playing that at launch. Did you play that at launch?
No.
Okay.
I have a very selective thing about him. Like, I have to be ready, and I've only been ready a couple times in my life. That's how Final Fantasy XIV got me. It was perfect timing to start that game. I hope that it works out for them. I'm not ready to say that BioWare is done. I think that people are ready to use it as a way to trash on EA owning BioWare. But the thing that I keep reminding people is that EA has been the owner of BioWare since right before Mass Effect 1 came out, which is what started their trend of Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Star Wars, The Old Republic. Like, they've been there the entire time of BioWare's heyday, I guess, for lack of better words. So, don't jump on them too quickly. Yeah.
And EA did Apex Legends. So, so there you go. It's something we can.
And Apex Legends is also dope.
Yep. You know what else is dope? We may be getting Game Pass on Switch.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Not the weirdest.
But yeah, okay. Game Pass, because it allows basically all these different, basically Game Pass is like the Netflix of video games. Being able to do this on Switch, I think, is really weird and interesting, and it's just another FU to Sony. I mean, at that point, if this happens and you can play all these games on your Switch, you can give Microsoft money via your Nintendo account is the weirdest thing. But at the same time, I think that shows maturity if it is going to happen. This is rumor right now.
Yeah,
but
it's completely rumor. So there's a weird thing here where there's two parts of this story that is, again, a rumor.
Yeah.
One is that some Xbox quote-unquote exclusives may be making their way over to Switch, like Ori and the Blind Forest, which Ori and that's a great game to be on the Switch. That makes absolute perfect sense. And then as a part of that, the other part of the rumor was Game Pass coming to Switch via a streaming service, and that's where it gets a little rough. So as we talked about, I want to say November or December, whenever I tried out Google's Google Stream, Project Stream, that we also talked about the fact that Microsoft has one, and it's called xCloud. So they're talking about, the rumor is xCloud going to come to Switch and then therefore make it to where you can play Game Pass games via xCloud on the Switch, because the Switch can't run Xbox games. It's just,
there's
doesn't
no way.
have the hardware.
There's no way it can do it. It has to do it with the power of the cloud. Yeah, streaming it could work, and it could be a possibility. It's something that, you know, a few years ago, Sony tried this, and it didn't do well. But if Microsoft has it ready, if they can really optimize this, then it'd be really great for those of us who have a decent internet connection.
Yeah, this just lends further to the discussion that we had a couple weeks ago, where this is a really, like, this story is starting to steamroll. So a couple weeks ago, we talked about on this show that they had announced that Xbox Live, in some capacity, might be coming to Switch, in terms of, like, you could communicate potentially. There may be achievements. They haven't talked too deeply into it. And then now this other rumor pops up about Game Pass potentially coming to Switch. What is going on? Like, this is all so crazy. But it also makes me wonder, and I just came up with this just while you were just talking about the FU to Sony. Yeah. What if they're getting out of the hardware game? Like 2 generations from now, since they have their exclusives go cross-platform right now between Xbox and PC. Let's say they leave Xbox as a console behind after next gen, because they have a relationship with Nintendo, because they have this xCloud thing that could be viable, and because they still have a giant market in everybody that is PC. I'm
gonna be honest, I would not. I think that would be an amazing level of foresight for them to do that. Gaming, just like everything else, is changing, and it's becoming more. Last console generation brought us more digital purchasing than ever. Now that's just the norm. So much has changed.
And online gameplay.
It would not surprise me, as sad as it is for me as a gamer, as an old school gamer. Like, it would not surprise me if that happened, and you didn't have as many console makers, and you had more services, more software as a service, essentially, rather than the hardware business. Because now, I mean, like, we're talking about, this phone being able to run some pretty decent gameplay on it. If we're let's say Xbox got out of it, not the Xbox One generation, but the Xbox 2 generation, if you will. If they got out of it after that, we're talking what, 6, 7, 8 years from now.
6 to 10 years.
Yeah. At that point, I'm thinking
by 2030, is the Xbox still there? I mean, are any of them still? I mean, Nintendo's talked about the same thing too, where they've had but they've had a brief conversation where it's like they're looking beyond console sales. I think Sony's even talked about it a little bit. Like, 2 generations from now, this is all weird, but I just continue to think I want to know how crazy E3 is going to be. Yeah. I want to know if Sean Layden's going to walk on stage with a Switch. Yeah. I want to know if the Nintendo Direct is going to have like an Xbox controller. It's not going to. But the Sean Layden one, I think, is a lot more likely that he comes out on there, like on that stage with a Switch. Yeah. And if he does, it's going to be the most baller move ever. But this is all, I know this is all rumors, this is all crazy, but these little stories keep popping up about relationships between Microsoft and Nintendo, and what's really crazy at this is that this all started with Fortnite crossplay.
Mm-hmm. All because of Fortnite. Fortnite's big enough that it can do that, though. I don't know. Just ever since you mentioned it, I've just been like envisioning. Okay, what would the future of gaming be for? The future of gaming, not necessarily like retro console collecting and everything. That's always going to be a thing. But will we get to a point where kind of Apple was trying to do this with the Apple TV and being able to play video games on it? We get to a point where just your TV itself has enough CPU processing to be able to stream gameplay off the xCloud or whatever, and then you just have a digital Netflix style subscription to get video games, or you buy them a la carte and you just have a controller and your TV, and that's it.
Be beautiful. I mean, it'll be sad at the same time, but it'd be beautiful. Like in terms of just like imagine like Marie Kondoing your house.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. She would freaking love it. Yeah. So let us know what you think the future of gaming would be. Do you envision a gaming future like that, or are you going to stick to the physical copies of games? Have you moved into buying digital only, or you still buy physical games? I like physical games. I
like physical games on my PS4.
Yeah, Switch.
On my Switch.
Digital.
Yeah. See? You see?
Yep. So we're moving into the future already. Let's see. We only have a handful of people. Should we do our? What the heck? My time's gone. Should we talk about our adaptations, or want to just end it there for tonight?
Thanks for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads. Subscribe over here and click the bell, and that way you'll know about any new videos that we put up, because we put up a lot of gameplay, a lot of stories from games and stuff like that, and gameplay is down here.
Yeah, and you got more editorials and news stuff down here. Check it out.